see a bit of sporting history unfold. You better watch pretty carefully tonight. It'll never happen again. This is the very last European Cup Winners' Cup final. And this is the competition that English clubs have won in recent years. Manchester United won it back in 1991.
Hughes down the middle, no offside, the keeper's out of his area. Hughes gets his feet, but it's an acute angle. Oh, what a goal from Mark Hughes!
Arsenal took the trophy in 94. Straight to Smith. Of course, Chelsea won it last year. Here's Zola! Wonderful! Oh, goodness me, it's just right there. Well, plan A was that Chelsea would be in the final here tonight, but Real Mallorca of Spain, well, they got in the way. Other semi-final, Lazio of Rome beat Lokomotiv Moscow. So here at Villa Park tonight we have Lazio against Real Mallorca, the very last European Cup Winners' Cup final, because the teams that win the Cup in their countries next year go into the UEFA Cup. And we have here with us Alan Hansen and Martin O'Neill tonight. Looking forward to this. There's a carnival atmosphere. These people know how to enjoy themselves. No question about that. Yeah. Now, what do you make of this match? I mean, what do you feel? What are your instincts about it?
Well, I look at the Lazio lineup and I think it's an embarrassment of riches. You know, they're strong defensively. Nesta's in there, terrific player, great movement in the middle of the park. But the front two are a potent strike force that can win any final. I mean, if Mallorca have got a weakness at all, we saw it in the two legs against Chelsea. Ball coming in from wide, coming in quick in the air. Now you've got Vieri and Salas, both brilliant in the air.
Dream ticket, as you
say. I think that's where they can win the game.
Yeah. Salas was destined for Manchester United once upon a time, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, he's shown the World Cup what a player he is.
Mind you, they've done all right with Dwight.
Not bad, not bad.
Real Mallorca, you'd have seen them against Chelsea on the television, probably watched them through a few rounds. Martin, any thoughts on
Strong
Real?
defensively there, very, very strong. I think in the first 30 games in the Primera Liga, they scored, they only conceded 23 goals. That's fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. I think that's what they're based on, really. Having said that, they've still got some decent players. Stankovic on the left-hand side is terrific. Danny has actually improved immensely. Almost every team in Europe is looking at him at the moment. I tell you what, there'll be a match for Lazio tonight.
Well, Lazio, I think, are the biggest spending club in Europe, outspending Manchester United and Arsenal and all this, and Leicester. But Real have proved that you can forge a good team without spending that much money.
I think that's exactly right. They are. I was nearly going to say that they were the Leicester of the Premier League. Far from. I think rather more successful.
They may be as good.
The point I was trying to make is really that they have a fantastic team spirit.
That's right. We see it time and time again. If you've got 11 players that can play for each other, then you've always got a chance. Especially with the quality they've got as well.
Now, you boys have selected a couple of players that we should especially look out for.
Well, I've gone for Christian Vieri from Lazio. I must admit I haven't always been in love with Vieri, but he's had a fantastic World Cup. This is where he's really, really strong. Edge of the penalty box on his unfavoured right foot, but sticks it into the net beautifully. This one here, all about Vieri. Bit of strength, wee bit of pace as well too. Again onto the right foot, but magnificently stuck away. I might be starting to change my mind about it. Here, third time, short back lift onto his left foot, and that is just a fantastic finish. There's no doubt about it. He had a World Cup to remember.
I've gone for Danny. He's got pace, movement, and he's a clinical finisher. Great anticipation here. Gets on the end of this, and this is just quite magnificent. A little bit of movement coming up, and he's in, and it's just a deft touch over the keeper's head, and that's a wonderful goal. And this is all about pace, this last goal. He gets on the end of this ball, and he just leaves the defender for dead. 1 against 1, and no questions where that's going to go.
Well, You've picked out the forwards. Of course, they're two strong defensive teams as well. So
what we need is an early goal.
We need
if you get an early goal,
yeah.
If you get an early goal, it makes the opposition go after it. That's what you need.
Need goals to match this carnival atmosphere. Well, I hope you enjoy it at home as much as they're enjoying it here. And let's now join Trevor Brooking and first, John Mott.
Well, the scenes as the teams come out from the stands match anything I've seen anywhere this season, Des. Mallorca on the left in red, Lazio on the right in yellow, not their first choice strip, which those of you who follow Italian football will know is blue, but they prefer to play in yellow in Europe. And they're being welcomed, Lazio, by some 10,000 Italian supporters, most of them banked high at the Holt end to my left, where the Aston Villa fans traditionally stand, or sit these days, of course. And away to our right, the Whitton Lane end, there are some 7,000 people from the island of Mallorca, giving us a crowd, I think, of around 34,000, which is a very good turnout. The actual UEFA capacity here for this Cup Winners' Cup final is 36,000. We've already had a parade of champions, a player from the past representing the 38 teams who've won this competition up to now. And it's quite a, as you said, carnival occasion. And very nice conditions as well. The sun just still dropping over the Whitton Lane end, and a colourful spectacle all around the ground. I'll give you the team news in just a moment, but don't forget, although it's an English venue, English clubs, although not here tonight, have won the Cup Winners' Cup altogether 8 times. That's the best in the merit table. Spain have 7 wins and Italy have 6, so one of them will increase that tonight. And 2 Scottish clubs have also won this competition. For neither club is the final an end in itself. Both lie second in their respective leagues and are on course for the Champions League next season. Lazio still have a chance of winning Serie A in Italy. They're 1 point behind Milan with 1 game to go. Mallorca are 10 points behind Barcelona in Spain, but they do have the best defensive record in the Prima Liga. Only 26 goals conceded in 34 games and only 4 in 8 European ties, including, of course, 2 ties against Chelsea, who they beat on aggregate by 2 goals to 1. The usual handshakes and all sets over Brooking for what should be a very good night.
Well, what's a bit of a mismatch last week, Marseille against Parma, but this occasion I think the 2 very evenly matched teams. Although they spent all the money in Lazio, they are in 1 or 2 positions, a little bit individualism, and there's Real Mallorca. They've got that strong back four, and Gonga is the one who sits in front of them.
Yes, Roa, the Argentine goalkeeper, Marcelino there, the centre-half, who I think is going to Newcastle, Ibergaza, an Argentine who plays behind the front 2, who are, as you said, Dani and Biagini, who both scored against Chelsea. And the experienced left-back Miguel Soler, who played in a final in this competition 10 years ago with Gary Lineker. Now then, Lazio's 1 or 2 surprises here. Lombardo's not playing, neither is Sergio Conceição, the Portuguese, but Mihailovic, the Yugoslav at the back, is a very skillful player. Mancini, one of the most popular players in Italy, has been picked to start. And you've already mentioned the potent front 2. Lazio, who spent so much money, over 70 million last summer alone, and their president Cragnotti, Sergio Cragnotti, has really assembled a very expensive side for Sven-Goran Eriksson there, the coach who nearly went to Blackburn Rovers, you may remember, before Roy Hodgson changed his mind, but a very experienced European football brain there. And here's the referee, Gunter Benko of Austria, who speaks good English. And remember, we could have the golden goal tonight. If the scores are level after 90 minutes, we go into extra time, but the first goal, if there was one, would then win it. So it's all set for the final, the last final, the 39th of the European Cup Winners' Cup